Well, hello everybody. This is the Support Our Hashtag Creators podcast. My name is Alan Greenstein. I am the founder and producer at Support Our Hashtag Creatives. And the goal of our organization is to level the playing field for underrepresented creators and artists so that they have the same opportunities as everyone else to get their works created, distributed, and seen. I'm also on the board of directors of the Bella Levy Foundation. The goal of the Bella Levy Foundation is to fight human trafficking and provide a safe haven for its warriors. So I'm so excited to have Shalaine Stebner on our show today, award-winning singer and songwriter. So, Shalaine, why don't you briefly introduce yourself and we'll be on our way.
Sure. So, hi, everybody. I'm Shalaine Stebner. I am a singer songwriter. I am a mom. I am an entrepreneur. I am a wife, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just doing all the good stuff in my heart that feels good.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, why don't you tell us your origination story?
Sure. When I was little, my dad was always in a band, and he was the drummer in the band. And so they would always practice in our basement because that was the biggest place for everybody to jam. And he used to also be a propane truck driver. And so I would go driving truck with them and I would just sing the whole time, 4 years old, and he would never have to turn on the radio because I just sang the whole time. So when they started practicing the bands in the basement, I would just sit there and go like, yeah, I love this. I want to be a part of this. And so I remember when I was about 8 or 9, we were playing at an anniversary party, and one of the ladies in the band said, like, do you want to come and sing this song with us? And I was like, yes, I do. And it was kind of from there that it just kind of had spiraled into the addiction of wanting to be on stage and wanting to be the center of attention, I guess you could say, or at least the beginning spot of the excitement and the entertainment. So from there, I did like local theater, and I started musical theater, and I danced. I tap danced for years. I love rhythm. So I tap danced for years, and just did everything in
Oops, sorry about that. We'll edit that out. Okay, continue.
So I did anything and everything that I could possibly do to get myself on stage and in front of people. And then when I was in my teens, I would go and travel around and play at different the biggest one that I like to play at was called the Corn Fest, just out past a little bit where I was raised. And it was just kind of like everybody went camping and ate corn chowder, and it was the funniest thing. But I would take all of my karaoke CDs with me and sing along with karaoke. And then it got to a point where nobody wanted anybody to play and sing along with karaoke. Everybody wanted live music, and
Oh,
I didn't know how to play guitar. I didn't know how to play anything. So I kind of took a step back from music just because I didn't know where I fit in with it. And so then my grandpa, he had passed away when I was 9. So this is my dad's dad. So he had passed away, but he was very, very, very musical. And so after he had passed away, he had this lovely guitar that nobody wanted because nobody played music either. And so my dad was like, I think you need this. And I think you should, try and figure this out. So I got his guitar, and it was like this jumbo guitar. And I'm a pretty small statured girl. So here I am, I got my arms over this giant jumbo guitar, and I needed help like plugging it in, and uh and so I taught myself how to play guitar because I wasn't going to go sit in lessons, and theory means nothing to me. I don't understand piano theory, music theory, any of that stuff. It's all by ear for me. And so then I had a group of, I call them my old fart band because it was just a bunch of old retired guys that love to play. And they taught me so much. They took me under their wing, and they helped me better myself playing guitar. and they pushed me to remember. One of the most important things that they taught me was to give back to the community. So where I'm from, we have a center of mental health or brain injury center. And so we would go at Christmas time. We'd go volunteer to play Christmas songs out there, or at old folks' homes, or and they really instilled in me that, like, no matter what you do, you have to give back in some way, shape, or form. So that was really fantastic. And then when COVID hit, everybody kind of broke up and started off doing their own thing, because we weren't allowed to play with anybody else. And uh, and so then during that time, my husband was laid off, along with, gosh, millions of other people, and he took it really hard, and kind of fell into a really deep, dark place. And so I wrote my first song. It's called "As Strong as Your Daddy," and it was a song that I wrote to my son about men's mental health, and about how everybody always says, like, you're a man, you should you don't have to feel those feelings, you don't cry because you're a man, and all those silly things that everybody says to these guys, and it's not true. And so I wrote, "As Strong as Your Daddy" is about how you don't have to be strong, and you can feel the feels, and you can do all of the things in your heart, that it's okay. And so after I wrote that song and kind of put it on out for the world to hear, and it was just on Facebook, but I had a really, really great response. And then from then it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, this is like, I guess I can write music, right? And so then I started writing more, and we found a little recording studio that wasn't close to, or that was close to me, that was not very expensive, because we of course didn't have any money at the time either. I mean, we don't have any money now, but we didn't have any money at the time either. So yeah, so I started recording some songs, and put some stuff out there, and I really liked it, and I felt good about the things that I was putting out there. So yeah, so that's kind of how I got here, in a 4 minute or less story.
Oh yeah, okay. As strong as your daddy's. That was
Yeah.
yeah. So what was the this is your very first recording that you recorded song? You
No,
said?
that one was just on like on my phone on Facebook. It was just like a Facebook Live. I have
Oh,
recorded it since then, but the very first recording that I did is the one that you're going to play, which is Dirt Road Raised. So we recorded it, and then I was lucky enough a couple years later to get to re-record it and kind of turn it into what it should be. So we kind of remastered, reworked it, and turned it into something absolutely fantastic.
okay. Okay. So in a sense, you got your start on Facebook with that song before you went off on your actual professional singing, right? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh, hmm. Oh, okay. Can say something? Talk. Can't hear me? Okay. Do you want to try going out and coming back in? Try going out and coming back in again. Um, you know. Okay. Yeah. Um, can you hear me now? No. Can you hear me now? Why don't you try leaving and coming back in again? Can you leave and come back in like you did before?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's see. Um,
I can't. I can't hear you.
yeah. Okay, let's see who comes back in. Okay, she's back. Let's see.
I
Okay,
can hear you now.
okay. I'm not sure why that keeps happening.
I do not know.
Uh,
Maybe
um.
it's the Canadian thing. It's all the things that are going on in Canada. Maybe.
uh, oh well, maybe.
I'm sorry.
Okay. 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 Well, you were talking about the as strong as your daddy,
Hmm.
and and how you progressed from starting on Facebook,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Facebook, I think that these streaming platforms are fantastic because, anybody can go on there and do anything. And it's really quite amazing, the amount of talent that there is on there. It's really cool. I quite like, and I like that it's for the most part, it's free, right? So it's
yeah,
kind of a good way to put yourself out there.
yeah. Well, it's interesting that but being on Facebook, that the people would discover you that way. I mean, you
Hmm.
said you got a lot of people. That's really interesting. Well, social media is like that, I guess, and
Yeah.
yeah, and that's amazing that you were able to get people to recognize you at that point.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's really great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So how did you know Caden Gordon, he actually introduced me to you. So
Hmm.
how did you meet up with him? How did all that work?
Yeah. So when um in the summertime, I was kind of looking for help, because I own my own salon, and then again, I'm a mom and a wife, and I run around with my head cut off most of the time. And there's a lot of things in the music industry that I wanted to do that I just don't have the knowledge to do. It's a lot of it is trial by error, and there's a lot of error. But so I'm part of the International Singer Songwriters Association, and so this summer we went down to Atlanta for the award show. And one of the categories for the award show is like promoters and labels and whatever, right? And so I kind of looked through the labels and found the ones in Canada that kind of met the same goals and beliefs that I had. And so I got hooked up with Big Records. I had a couple interviews with them, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is like if this is the right step for me to do. But they assured me that knowledge is power, and so I signed with them, and Caden was working with them at the time, and so we did an interview, and then and he's fabulous. Gosh, I love him. And so we did an interview, and then when we went down to Atlanta for the award show, he was kind of the first one that I spotted from across the room, and I was like, "Somebody I know," and I ran over and I was like, "Hey, I'm Shalaine from Canada," and he's like, "Oh my God," it was just like it was so funny. It just yeah. So that was when we first met for the first time, and so I've kept in contact and done some work with him since, and he's so fantastic, and I love everything that he stands for, and I love how inclusive he is. And he just in general just wants you to succeed, and in this industry, um you have people that do the things, and then you have people that support you to do the things, and everything is integral, right? Every part of it is so important. So I'm so thankful that he's so passionate about his job, and he takes it so seriously, and he takes it so to heart. Everything that he does is wholehearted, and I appreciate him so much, and he's just a really cool, great person.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Caden Gordon, he has a country music radio show, And besides playing the music, he also interviews people on the show. And by the way, I'm one of them.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I was. In fact, somebody, Crystal Starnes, who is has a the Voice of Victims podcast. She actually recommended me to him, and then I ended up being interviewed by him, and then and then he recommended a whole bunch of people for me to interview on my podcast.
Yeah.
So, and here we are.
And you know what? It's you just gotta find the friends, and then from that, your network just grows and grows and grows, and you don't know who you need in your life until they're in your life, right?
Yeah, right. So you're right, exactly. You just never know, and so I'm glad that I made a connection with him and you, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm going to play the Dirt Road Raised.
Sure.
First, and then that'll be kind of our lead in to start talking about it. So let's do that now. So hang on as I have to push some buttons, and here we go. Okay.
West of town on 53 in the middle of nowhere. Nestled back in the trees where you can breathe the cleanest air. A husband and his wife tried to make the land their own. Raise a family and teach them all that they had known. Well, I was a wild child, I could never stay home. All around the countryside, I had the urge to roam. All the roads I traveled on taught me lessons in their own way. Some were hard, but the best ones didn't happen when I was away. No, the best ones happened when my wheels hit that dirt road that raised me and taught me right from wrong. How to love and how to cuss and how to be strong. It taught me how to drink and how to shoot that 80 proof. But the best thing that came from this dirt road was you. You grew up in a little house not too far from me. As time went on, we realized we had a wild child similarity. Sitting next to you in the front seat of your old green Chevy, with just enough space between to make the air real heavy. I was hoping for forever, you just wanted to have fun. We both got what we wanted with the setting of the sun. In the bed of that truck, on the dirt road that raised me and taught me right from wrong. How to love and how to cuss and how to be strong. It taught me how to drink and how to shoot that 80 proof. But the best thing that came from this dirt road was you. Here we stand on the same land my parents put their roots. We fenced off a corner and got some dirt on our boots. We will raise our babies here and we will give them the chance to see the stars light up the sky, to close their eyes and dance and write their own story on the dirt road that raised me. Right from wrong. How to love and how to cuss and how to be strong. It taught me how to drink and how to shoot that 80 proof. But the best thing that came from Lister Road was you. Was you. I love my babies and you.
Okay. Did you hear it? Did that come through okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
It was
it.
good.
Yeah. I'm
a little biased, but yeah, it was great.
Well, no, I can tell you really enjoying it. I was enjoying it too. It was really
Oh,
great,
no, now we're frozen
really great,
again.
story in that song. Yeah. So we're gonna continue talking about the song, but first we're gonna stop for a brief commercial message. So here we go. We'll be right back. I'm Alan Greenstein, founder and producer at Support Our Creatives. At Support Our Creatives, I offer a number of services to support those developing a project. Check out the services tab of my website at supportourcreatives.com. If you are interested, please use the contact tab on my website or email me directly at alan@supportourcreatives.com. And we're back. You saw that June DeGuiso has joined us, and thanks, June, for joining him. June DeGuiso is a filmmaker that I work with, and he's very great customer.
Can you hear me, or am I all messed up on your end?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? I can hear you. You can't hear me? Yes? No? No? You want to go out and come in again? I don't know what's going on. You can come back in?
Oh, can I hear you
hear
now?
me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah.
I don't understand why it keeps going in and out.
I do not know. I haven't moved and you haven't moved. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is interesting. Well, that's the way it is when you do something live. It
Right?
happens to me sometimes.
It's
Yeah.
always exciting.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right.
So as I said, June is a filmmaker that I've worked with. I've been in a number of his films so far, and he's a very loyal participant, in the audience of Support Hashtag Creatives. So once again, hi, June.
Hi,
Yeah.
June.
Okay. So the story of the song.
Right.
What is
Yes.
okay? What is your inspiration for this song? I think people could probably figure it out by listening to the lyrics. But
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
I would say it's probably pretty cut and paste of kind of how I grew up. My parents bought a quarter section of land when I was little, when I was just a baby, and we moved onto it. And they built the house when we moved in when I was 6 months old. So we literally harrowed the yard and did all of the work to make it into something that we could stay in. And we're a family of 5, so it needed to be big enough for everybody. And the work and the dedication and it is hard work. And I mean, this was in the 80s when you could just invite a couple buddies over and build a house, and there wasn't all of the all the extra stuff that you have to do now. But anyway, so they built this house, and we're raised on this dirt road. There was nobody around us for miles. So
Wow.
it was literally in the middle of nowhere. And you learn so much about yourself, and about your friends and everything like that. And so my husband grew up and not too far from me. And so we started dating when I was 19 and he was 20, and so we've been together for 17 years. And my mad desire to also raise my kids on that dirt road as well is
Wow.
very strong. But unfortunately, it's very expensive now. So one day we will for sure get out there. We're not out there yet, but I have my spot picked out where I want to put the house. And I just want for my children to have the same experiences, and because we do live in a small town, but being in the middle of nowhere at nighttime is so different than being in town, right? So I want my kids to experience that. And we do definitely, like, we go camping out in the field, and we spend a lot of time out there, but I have a mad desire to be out there full time would be ideal. So it's just literally my story of growing up and on a dirt road, and doing all the things that you do on a dirt road. And I think that the neat thing is that you could live in the biggest city in the world, and we still find our way to a dirt road somewhere along the way. So yes, Crystal, exactly how you live on a farm, exactly. And that experience, you can tell people about that experience, but once they experience it, like you just want to it's just a totally different thing when they can experience it for themselves versus telling them about the experiences. It's so magical.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So once again, thanks, Crystal, for tuning in. I already mentioned you earlier. I don't know if you were here
Hmm.
at the time. The Voice of Victims podcast. That's what she's known for. So very good. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. For me, I guess I'm the exact opposite of you, because I grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh yes, yes.
And I live now I live in Maryland, but still in an urban area. So
Hmm.
everybody has their what they like, and people can thrive wherever they grow up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Yeah,
everything, it's unique to everybody, right? Some people love living in the middle of nowhere, and some people are better living with in the same area as millions of other people. It's totally different.
yeah. But look at what you made of it. I mean,
Yeah,
this is it. I mean, so I guess this probably influences your music in general, even besides this one song.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of
I
course.
think I got a lot of great morals and values, and I learned a lot about myself when I was living out there.
Yeah, good. That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about where you typically perform. When you go into various venues and stuff like that. Because yeah, I don't think you've mentioned that yet. Where you perform. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh no. Hmm. Can you get out and go back? Get out and come back in. Can you? Oh, yeah. You leave and come back in. I can hear you. Can, can you? Oh, can you go? Can you hear me now? Hmm. Can you hear me now? Why don't you go ahead and come back in again?
I can't, I can't hear you.
Oh, where'd you go? Can you leave and come back in?
I can't hear you.
Hmm. Can you, can you
Oh no. Oh no,
leave and
is
come back
right.
in? Hello? She froze. He froze.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good.
What happened? Oh, this is. I guess the next time we run into this problem, I guess you should go out and come back in again. I don't
Yeah, yeah.
understand what's going on here. Yeah. Okay.
I
Anyway,
don't
let's
know.
let's try to resume.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I was talking. Oh yeah. So I was asked a question about. So where geographically do you typically perform?
Oh, yes. So I am located in Alberta in Canada. And so because I have small children, we don't tend to go too far. Edmonton, Calgary, and all the ways in between. I do get to the distinct honor of getting to go out to Whistler for the Invictus Games in February. And that's the Wounded Warrior and Veterans Olympics, and I'm so excited. So Big Records is going to be putting on a show out there in the beginning of February, and then we'll be kind of touring around a little bit, and then to some capacity be able to be involved in the game. So we're not quite sure how that what capacity, because they never let you know until 2 minutes before they want you on stage, but.
Ooh. And when is this gonna be?
So it's in February. So February 2nd, we'll be out in White Rock for a conference, and then the games start on February 8th.
You said, "Oh wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing." Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this
yes.
is this also in Alberta?
It's in BC.
Oh, in British Columbia. Okay.
Yeah, just along the coast.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And I've never
fantastic.
been there, so I'm excited to go that far. I've been in BC, but I haven't been that far. So I'm really excited to get to experience that. I mean, there's a whole world that I haven't seen, so my gosh, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well, that is so exciting. Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
great. I hope that you'll display thoughts about that on social media when the time comes, so we can
Oh,
all
yes, yes,
try to
yeah.
experience it with you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
good. Yeah. So let's see. So when you're going to various venues around Alberta for the most part,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. What type of venues do you usually have your performances in?
So, I mean, there's a wide variety of, we do bars, we do patios, we do lounges, we do literally anything. I've played at casinos, but my most favorite is the small intimate shows. So
Ooh.
I love playing, in the summertime, I've been hired lots of times to play just in a backyard for like a family and their friends. And that is my favorite because I really feel like you can talk about the songs and convey the message that we write about. Whereas when you're in a bar or something like that, like nobody really wants to listen to why you wrote a song. They just want to
Mm.
hear a song that they can dance to, right?
Yeah.
So it definitely is a whole different. I love both of them for different reasons. But if I got to choose, a small intimate gathering with like 15 to 30 people just sitting around, sipping drinks, having snacks, and just like listening and enjoying and laughing together, and that's my favorite for sure.
Oh, wow, fantastic. Yeah, that's good to know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep. So, do you usually perform like many let's say many days in a row, having to travel from venue to venue, or do you have your performances spread out more in terms of time?
So I own a salon. So I actually work behind the chair 4 days a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I am at the salon, and so I usually keep Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays to some for some form of music. I don't like to do more than a couple of shows a weekend because I still have my family obligations that I
Yeah.
don't ever want to miss out on. So the summertime was crazy for me. I did 2 to 3 shows a weekend, and it was nuts. Like, the one weekend, I on the Friday night I played at a backyard party, and then Saturday at noon I played at a festival, and then I played at the same festival again at 3, and then I went back out to another backyard patio party at like 8. I think I got there, and by the time I got home, I was like, man, I am tired. I played 4 shows in 24 hours,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was just nuts. Like, it was too much. So I was like, that is, I know my limit. 4 shows in 24 hours is far too much. But I do like to have at least one show a weekend. It keeps me in it, right? But I am lucky that I get a little break between now and after Christmas, because you need that time, and it's also crazy at the salon as well. So there needs to be balance, and I always say that it's a juggling act. Whether you're no matter what you're doing, something, you're never going to be completely balanced. Something is going to be up and something is going to be down. So you just have to be aware that sometimes the things that are down are the things that maybe you didn't necessarily want to be down, but it's intentional, and we know that while it's sitting down, something else, we're working on something else, but as soon as this is done, then we can pick up that other thing and make sure that everybody has their moment in the air, right? And I'm not a good juggler, but I try really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, do you want to plug your salon?
Sure, yeah. So Lux Salon and Boutique in Pinoca is where I am at. We are a salon. We have a boutique in the front, and then a salon full of crazy ladies in the back. But the my favorite thing is in the boutique we have, it's filled with women-owned Canadian businesses. And so that's probably my favorite part about it all, is that I know that I'm supporting some moms somewhere along the way, and everybody that we have in the salon, in the boutique, I know where they live. I know where they sell their stuff out of. It's such a personable experience. I've been to their homes, so it makes it that much more enjoyable because you have that personal connection with them. So yeah. Anyways, that's my salon, Lux Salon and Boutique.
Okay, that's you said is Pinoca, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, is the best time of year for your gigs? Is there a particular season of the year which is better than others?
Spring and summer and early fall are nuts. It's like an every weekend kind of thing, and
Oh.
I have to plan my summers out in like March, so that I can at least have a break. um, but I will say, my goal last year or my resolution for last year was to make sure that this year, in the times that were slower last year, that I would be busier. And it definitely has picked up like crazy. So I've done more shows this year than I have probably the last 2 years prior. And the other cool thing is, that I've done more shows and actually got paid for shows. Whereas before it was just on a volunteer basis. But again, we still make sure that we donate our time often, because it's so important.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So, that is great to hear. That once again you have the opportunity to get paid and also do free concerts as well.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
absolutely.
great. Yeah,
Absolutely.
fantastic. Okay, let's see. Okay, describe your genre, pretty country. What to tell me about that?
So Pretty Country came about. I was talking to Jenny Duhamey, and we were talking about, releasing songs and whatnot. And she said, "Well, what kind of genre are you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm pretty country," because I'm thinking like, yeah, like pretty much all of me and all that I am I'm pretty country, right? And she was like, "Oh," she's like, "Well, you are pretty and you do country," so she's like, "So that makes sense." And I was like, "That's not what I meant, but we're gonna go for it."
Oh,
I'm not quite sure what exactly Pretty Country has developed into yet. But I like to curl my hair and get my lashes on, so that's about as
yeah,
pretty as we can
yeah,
be.
yeah. Well, I envision that someday a lot of people are going to be using that title, that genre title.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
also think that a lot of times there's a lot of country music that's being put out there, and it's very mainstream, and it's catchy, but it doesn't really hit your soul. And so I like to play and I like to sing the songs that hit your soul completely.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay. Tell me about your relationship with big records.
I'm just
Can
gonna
you
mute
hit?
it.
Oh, whoops. Hope we should come back in. Hey, I hope
Hey,
that worked. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can. That worked
Okay. This is the weirdest thing. Well, I'll tell you.
good.
Anyway, so tell us briefly about big records and
Oh,
how they've helped you out over the years.
yeah, so it hasn't been years. It's only been a couple of months that I've been
Oh,
with Big
okay.
Records. But everybody that I've met, that they've gone in contact me in contact with, or that work with them, they're amazing. They're just a big group of cheerleaders, right? And they have a networking book that's like a mile long, whereas mine is not. So that was kind of what I needed. And when I first signed with them, we had kind of talked about what I was expecting to get from them. And I said, I have no idea, because I don't know what I want and what I need. And I feel like every day your shift and your focus changes a little bit, right? And so they're great for bouncing questions off, or and they do radio releases, and they do playlisting, and all of these things that I don't know how to do.
Mhm.
And I want to learn how to do them, but I want to learn from somebody that actually has done it. And I will say that the music scene, it's interesting sometimes when you run into people that claim that they're supportive of you and they're also in the music scene. What they really mean is, I'm going to keep you at an arm's length, so that you don't take all of the gigs from me, right? And so that was one thing that I hate about the music scene. And I know for a fact that I can't play all of the gigs in all of the land. And so there needs to be more than just one person to play music. And so I love that they are about camaraderie and not competition. It's about lifting your brother up, and they just want to see you succeed, and they want to do anything and everything possible to succeed. And they just in general, they just have so many amazing artists signed with them. And there's the uncles and aunties that I didn't know that I needed.
Yeah. I like that expression, competition versus camaraderie.
Yes.
So I'm glad you've got yourself into an environment where everybody is willing to work together,
Yeah.
help
Yeah,
because everybody
it
helps
is
everybody out, right?
absolutely, and that's the way it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Okay, let's talk about the International Singer-Songwriters Association and your recent honor there?
Sure. So the International Singer-Songwriters Association is a free group. You don't have to pay to be in it, and they, they're kind of the same. Where if you have any questions or anything like that, they answer. But it's just like, again, it's just a big group of friends who get together every once in a while, and so they have an awards show, and you get to nominate yourself or nominate somebody else for what you feel you're worthy of for that year. So whether it's like if you had a new album or a video or song or whatever. So, anyways, I was nominated and I won. I won for Songwriter of the Year, and that was so special to me because that award is not about, the production. It's not about anything else other than the words that I have wrote. And I never ever, up until that point, and it sounds really silly, but I never ever really viewed myself as somebody who could write songs well. And it's, it sounds silly, but sometimes we need that confirmation that, like somebody else agrees that, you're doing a good job. So anyway, so we go down to Atlanta, and I've never been to Atlanta before in my entire life. So we get a cab and we go to this hotel, and there's a whole bunch of people that are down there that I had recognized. And so we were there Thursday night, and we kind of all sat around this little fire and played music until 2:30 in the morning. And then Friday night, same thing, we played music till 2:30 in the morning. And the Thursday night and Friday night was really cool because it was just like a songwriter session. Everybody sang their own songs, and everybody just listened intently because we're all songwriters and we're all crazy. So, we wanted to hear, inspiration and why you wrote this song, and it was so beautiful. And then Saturday night after the award show, everybody just wanted to party, so we sang karaoke songs.
Oh,
Until they said either you be quiet or we're gonna call the cops and we're gonna make you be quiet. So we were like, oh yeah, we gotta be quiet. So but yeah,
wow.
it was the most amazing experience. I didn't know that I needed that in my life because I'd never experienced anything like that in Alberta either. So, just to sit around and play music for hours and hours and hours and meet people and talk to people and whatnot. It was really, really cool. It was very special.
Yeah, and of course you're being exposed to all different kinds of styles of music and genres of
Oh
music
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and I guess you great networking opportunity for sure.
hmm
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. Yeah, I definitely met quite a few people from all over the world, and it's kind of funny. There was a handful of us from Alberta, and we all ended up at the same table. Like it was so funny.
Wow.
We just gathered for some odd reason. Somebody would come in and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" And we're like, "We're from Alberta." Like we all came together, but we didn't. But
Yeah. Oh, man. No, that's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me still?
yeah.
Okay, good. All right. We're gonna pause briefly for another commercial. We'll be right back. I'm Alan Greenstein, founder and producer at Support Our Hashtag Creatives. If you make something, albeit make a movie, start a business, write a book, make a physical product, run a nonprofit, promote people, are a songwriter, etc. You too are a creative, and I would love to have you be a guest on the Support Our Hashtag Creatives podcast. If you want to be featured on this podcast, please use the contact tab on my website at supportourcreatives.com or email me directly at alan@supportourcreatives.com. And we're back. Can you hear me still?
I can.
Okay, good, good. Well, we know the trick now, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Pick
Okay.
me out.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you would like to discuss that we haven't touched upon?
I feel like we've kind of covered a whole plethora of stuff, so we kind of went all over the map there, and I love it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, oh, I'm glad to. Yeah. What is what is coming up for you? Well, you mentioned the Invictus Games. That is big. That's really big.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
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 Anything else besides that coming up?
Yeah, so at the end of at the end of December, so December 29th, I get to I don't know, do you watch hockey at all?
Um, no, I don't. But
Neither
I'm not a sports
neither do
fan.
I. So neither do I. So it's okay. But so in Alberta we have the Edmonton Oilers, and then their league that's right under them are the Edmonton Oil Kings. And so I get the absolute pleasure of going to play one of their intermissions. So I get to bring my kids for their very first hockey game. My
Oh,
second hockey game of my entire life. And it's gonna be so fun. It's there's going to be a whole bunch of people from that I know that are going to be there, and it's just going to be a great time. And I'm so excited to be able to play. I mean, we get to only play for like 6 minutes, I think, is what it is, but it doesn't matter. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
well, once again, another great opportunity for people
Yeah,
to experience, your talent and your songs and stuff. So,
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's all good. I mean, all these
yeah.
opportunities. Always take
Oh yeah,
advantage of any opportunities offered to you, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I very
Yeah.
rarely say no, which is a flaw of mine.
Oh, well, I guess it could be, but in this situation, I mean, I think that I think it's all good, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so glad that you are getting yourself out there.
Yeah, and it was actually a connection that I'd made from the ISSA in Atlanta. That he was the one that invited me to come and play. So it was just it's yeah, it was really cool. He texted me at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, do you want to come play Rogers Place?" And I said, "I don't care what the date is. I don't care what it's for. Yes, I'm in."
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So, do you have any advice for people who are interested
Yes.
in singing and it's whatever?
Yeah, yeah. So I always have recently, come to a few conclusions in my life. Um, I will never be the best singer in the room. I will never be the best musician in the room. But I have passion. And if you have passion in your heart, you don't have to be number one. You just have to be able to do it. And have that courage to do it and put yourself out there. So I didn't start recording music till I was in my early 30s. And that is like later than all of the other, the 20s, 19 teenagers and 20-year-olds that are releasing music. But it doesn't mean that I'm less worthy of following my passion. It just means that I have a little bit more experience. But age does not define you. You can do whatever the heck you want. If it's in your heart, you have to go for it. Otherwise, you'll live the rest of your life regretting not doing that thing that you wanted to do. So I've definitely learned to follow my gut. If we're doing something and my stomach is saying like, we go for it. I'm like, all right, I'll go for it, right? And it could be the most ridiculous thing, or it could be the most amazing thing, but you don't know until you try, right? So I
Yeah.
always say like,
Yeah.
I'm never, like I said, I'm never going to be the best in the room, but I don't want to be the best in the room. I want to be in a room with people that are way better than me, so I can push myself to be better than where I am right now.
Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. I mean, very good advice to everybody, including myself. Because I got a pretty late start in
Hmm.
entertainment and my podcast, all that sort of stuff. So I definitely concur with what you're saying, and
Hmm.
I try to take advantage of every opportunity, to get out there. Like going to festivals or screenings or anything like that. That people
Hmm.
will get to know me. Yeah, fantastic. So, how can people get in touch with you?
Yep. So I have a website. It's www.shalainestebner.com. So you can see my name is right here on the screen,
Yeah.
so that you can write it down because it's a weird one. And that's okay. So www.shalainestebner.com, and that will take you right to my website. And then there, if you wanted to see if I could come play for you, there is a contact form to fill out. There's links to my Facebook, my Instagram, iTunes, Spotify. I'm on pretty much any streaming platform that there is out there. YouTube Music, Amazon Music. I don't even know where all of the things are that I'm on, but but anyways, that kind of, and it kind of has a little bit more of my story and some pictures, and then it also has an events page that kind of tells where I'm playing at next and where you can come and catch me, and yeah, that's the best place to start, is that on my website.
Yes, okay. ShalaneStebner.com, which for those who are watching
Yes,
the video, you can see it right there on the screen.
I can see it.
Yes. Okay. Well, I would really like to thank you for being on tonight. It's been a great adventure, and to be interviewing you and learning more about you. And
Thank you
I
so much.
just want to remind people that, the episodes of my podcast, if you can't catch the live, they will be repurposed and ultimately make it out to your favorite streaming platforms such as Spotify and others. So if for those who missed the live, they can always watch the replays. They're always going to be available. So once again, thanks, Shalaine, for being on the show, and I'm looking forward to reading about your future successes.
Thank you so
And,
much. I'm
and
excited. Thank you for taking the time.
I'm so glad to have you on. I like to have all kinds of different guests on here, and this is
Mhm.
fantastic to have had you on. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say good night, everybody. Okay, hold on, please. Okay.
Here's a message about Crystal Starnes, advocate for victims, and podcaster.
Are you an entrepreneur, actor, music artist, or someone trying to make a difference in the community, or have a story that could help someone suffering in silence? If your answer is yes, then you need to check out Crystal Starnes' various podcast shows that she produces and hosts. Come on one of her shows and make a difference. Promote your business on her platforms. Ask her about package deals to get your brand more noticed. Want a commercial about your business done by her voice? She also offers package deals for that service. You can find her at crystalstarnshow.com and voiceforvictimsradio.com. Also, if you want access to all her podcast shows and blogs, join her community awareness page for just $4.99 a month. That's right, just $4.99 a month. Then you would have access at a click of a button to her various platforms. Crystal Starnes is trying to make a difference for all people in the world. She wants to help as many people as she can so no one is suffering in silence. Anyone who has a vision and wants to achieve their dream, she has the passion to help promote you to get you to the next level of success.
Hey, clear.